Is it possible to love yourself and love your body over 50? That's what we're going to talk about today on Love My Body, Love Myself. So stick around. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Love My Body, Love Myself. I am your host, Alicia Couri, and on today's show, we are going to talk about loving our bodies and ourselves over 50. You know, we all have this idea that when we're in our 20s, that's the best our body's ever going to look. And so as we age, we start feeling about ourselves and our bodies. And yeah, we could feel that way. We sure can. But also there is an opportunity to really love the mature body that you're growing into. And that's what my guests and I are going to talk about. Plus, we're going to dive into mental health and all kinds of other great, juicy topics. So, friend, grab a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and, stick around for this one because you're going to want to learn some stuff about this. So just welcome everyone who is watching us on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on Twitch. Welcome to the show. If you are on YouTube or if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please head on over to youtube.com/C/Alicia Couri and subscribe to our channel, because not only do we have great content like this show over there, but we have so much more. We have a lot of other really great shows and interviews that you can dive into, and everything is all about up leveling. So check it out. And we would love also for you, if you do have a Facebook account, to join us on Facebook, join our community. It's facebook.com/groups/LMBLM, and that stands for Love My Body, Love Myself. So this show is sponsored by Alicia Couri Inc., and it's produced by Red Carpet CEO. We also have a very special sponsor for the show, which is FAMU Mary, MERY, which is there to educate on the proper use of medical marijuana. So if you want to know more about medical marijuana and what the proper use for medical marijuana is, go to, and let me share that link with you. You can go to mmeri.famu.edu, and they're there to educate you on the proper use of medical marijuana. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or sponsor the show in any way, please email us, support@aliciacouri.com, and we will be happy to send you the information about guesting here on the show. So now, without further ado, I want to get to my guest, because she is going to share so many amazing things with us. And let me tell you about her. So my guest is Neeahtima Dowdy, and she is over 50, like me, and she discovered in her late 40s that it is possible to love her body and love herself more than ever. She's aging through nutrition, changing the way she exercises, using bioidentical hormones, and has felt better and had more energy than she was at 35. She's also battled with depression and anxiety herself, and she has 2 children that have ADHD and either anxiety or depression. She's also going to share with us about her journey through her brother's own suicide, and that, everything that we talk about is in hopes of helping you overcome certain things in your life. So welcome, Neeahtima.
Thank you, Alicia. I'm so grateful that you invited me on.
Oh, I love following you on Instagram. So
likewise. We have a similar theme, a similar passion for you call it audacious
confidence. Yes.
And I'm all about emboldening. I don't like the word empowerment.
Right.
don't like that word. We need
Because
to
we're
be
already
audacious.
empowered.
We have the power.
Right. We're
We may
already
need to be
empowered.
audacious. We may
Yes.
need to be emboldened, but
Golden.
we don't need power. Not
We
from
don't need to
anybody
be
else.
I totally agree with you there. Yay! And she's on Clubhouse and talks a lot on Clubhouse, so you can check her out there too. But I want to first start back with, because you said in your early 20s or around when you were 20, your brother committed suicide, and
Yes.
was that when the depression started for you,
For
or was
me,
it before?
no. I would say for me, it's a chemical thing that
Mm,
I was most likely born with or developed very early on. You know, back in the day, there wasn't a lot known about depression and anxiety and why it happens or what can be the causes of it. And so knowing what I know now, I know that I probably suffered with symptoms of anxiety and depression my whole life. You know,
mm,
when I was little, it was always, oh, well, she's shy. Well,
yeah.
knowing what I know now, I had severe social anxiety, severe debilitating, paralyzing social anxiety. But there wasn't a diagnosis for that back then. It was
Right.
like, oh, she's shy.
Mm,
So, and that little girl is still inside my head, even though through just coping mechanisms, learning, forcing yourself, to in the corporate world or in life to overcome them, to come the issues, that the little girl still lives
yeah.
inside my head. And, I battle her all the time. And
Because
then depression
it
too.
never goes away. It never
No,
goes away.
not
That
not if
little
it's chemical. I mean, it's like
right,
saying, oh, you can talk your way out of diabetes. Well, you can't.
right.
Now therapy, I'm not suggesting therapy's useless, but if it's chemical, if it's physical in your brain, if it's a problem in your brain,
Yeah.
you're not gonna talk your
You're
way
not gonna talk
out
your
of
way
it,
out of it.
or
Mhm.
or or nobody's gonna love you out of it. But
But
it
there are
cracks me
coping
up when people
tools.
say, oh, just know you're loved. Okay, well, yeah, intellectually, I know I'm loved. I mean, that's not how the brain works. My daughter, who's a young adult, and she has depression and ADHD and anxiety, and she loves to say, and sometimes my husband, her father, who is very old school, even though intellectually he understands it, he doesn't really quite get it. And she likes to
Mhm.
say, that's not how this works.
Not how any of this works. It's like
That's
that
not
commercial with the yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Well,
not how any of this
along with
works.
the debilitating anxiety, just I don't even know what the exact. It's a version of depression. It just the lifelong inability to have a volume control or an off switch, if you will.
Mm,
So once I would get, even as a little child, upset, it just cycles and
loops.
cycles and
Mhm.
cycles and cycles, and the inability to
Bring it down.
bring it back down,
Right.
it just spins out of control. So in retrospect, I think it's been a lifelong issue. I didn't really seek professional help because I didn't understand it. I didn't know that it
So was that
was.
something your brother also was
I
suffering with or challenged
Well,
with?
again, knowing what we know now,
Mhm.
he was always a troubled teen, a
Mhm.
troubled child, right?
Right, right.
And knowing what we know now, there was help for that, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
or maybe not then, but there would be now, right? Um, so I think that he had similar issues, um, and he just he was 26,
Mm,
and nobody knew how to help him,
yeah.
and he didn't certainly know that he was had a problem. So yeah, and then there's this vacation. My brother, used drugs, and alcohol. And that's quite common for people with undiagnosed mental illness, whether it's, even ADHD. It's quite common for young people to turn to drugs and alcohol because just to cope, to self-medicate, especially when, there's this stigma, like with ADHD, right? That parents are like, oh, I'm not going to, I'm not, what,
Not
even
gonna
if
medicate.
it has it, I'm not going to medicate them. Well, okay, but they may end up self-medicating, and that would be worse. So yeah, I'm really passionate about all of these issues. I probably didn't seek professional help, even though I knew that something wasn't quite right, until after my first marriage failed, probably very young. I said, something's up. I wonder
What's wrong here?
I wonder if it could be better. And so I did start seeing a psychiatrist and got medication. And now I know that all of my previous relationships from teenage years to college, etc., probably wished
you were medicated then.
before. And I know that, it's my marriage now is 25 years, and it's opposites attract kind of thing, and we have our share of fights, but I don't lose it.
Right. You're controlling the spiral from going out of control. Yeah. So
exactly.
So when I read at the beginning that, after 40, you started learning now how to really love yourself. Did that also come as a result of, seeking and getting the right help that you needed in order to manage the depression and the anxiety and the ADHD and
not so
everything else?
much. That's been, shall we say, under control for many years now.
Right.
But
So
I would say it, I in my early 40s, probably, I couldn't get myself off the sofa. I had no energy, and just, I mean, I was miserable. I was like, is this all there is? And I started running first of all. I taught myself how to run. I'd never been a runner. Saying, I've got to find a way to get motivated and to get, the weight under control. Now
because after 40, that weight just starts. It's like, here I am. Hello.
It does. And there's, you can eat, grass, and you will still hang on to the weight. I mean, there was no, very, very low calorie count for me. So I started running to try to combat that. And that started to, my cardiovascular system got so much improved, and I had, more energy from that. Then that, the way it was under control, I was feeling good about that. Then I happened to be introduced to a nutrition program that I actually currently represent. And I thought, everybody claims that, they've got something that's the magic bullet or whatever. But my son, who at the time was a high school football player, he needed to gain weight for his senior season. And so I delved into this program. I took a chance on this program for him to gain weight and energy to
build muscle mass.
Yeah. And it worked so many miracles for him. that fast forward, I needed to get, 10 pounds off again because it goes like this. And I
Creeping.
said, you know what? I know how to eat well. I know how to, rein it in and get 10 pounds off. But I'm going to try this program. So I did. And it floored me because it made me realize that as healthy as I ate, I really tried to stay on a whole food diet. There was no possible way I could put all of the nutrition that my body needs on a plate, without it being 4,000 calories.
Right.
There's just no physical way, especially today. Our nutrition, our vegetables, they're not full of the vitamins and minerals and nutrients that they used to be. They're just not. So it was a rude awakening, and that really changed my energy level. And then I started adding weight training with my husband, and it changed my physical body inside and out. And so it wasn't so much learning to love my body, as it was. It was finding these tools that could make my body better, stronger, more energy, more attractive
I love that.
it had been before. So it wasn't like accepting, it was having these new tools and just being shocked that I could be better, even at 50, 55. I could
love
be
it.
and look and feel better,
sexy and attractive, and hot and all of it. Yeah.
And it changes your mental attitude, and that was it. It was like, you know what? I'm not dead yet. And that's where we're not dead yet.
Came from. Well, let me take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk about We're Not Dead Yet. Okay.
Great.
So hold on. We'll be right back.
Good news.
Are you curious about marijuana? Florida A&M University established the Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, also known as MARY, to educate the public about medical marijuana use as well as the detrimental health and social impacts of unlawful marijuana use on local communities. Empower yourself with knowledge. Find out more at mmeri.famu.edu. mmeri.famu.edu. MARY. Educate, learn, talk.
Love My Body, Love Myself show is sponsored by Alicia Couri Inc. and produced by Red Carpet CEO. Alicia Couri Inc. specializes in developing audaciously proactive leaders and teams using brain science and people data to get results. Visit our website, aliciacouri.com, for more information. The show is produced by Red Carpet CEO. If you'd like a copy of Age with Audacious Confidence, visit our link tree at linktr.ee/acouri. Let's get back to the show. Well, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Love My Body, Love Myself. I'm your host, Alicia Couri, and today's guest, Neeahtima Dowdy. We are talking all about aging, not just audaciously, but how I'm going to bring her back up to share her view of aging and just women being just full of energy, full of power, full of grace, and just living our best lives. So I welcome back to the show, Neeahtima.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Glad to be here.
Yeah, we left off because we were talking about nutrition and health and how you were able to discover that not it wasn't just about accepting your body as it aged, but you were really transforming yourself and really learning how doing some simple things nutritionally, with exercise, with uh, you know, that you can transform your body and have it actually be fabulous after 50.
Yeah, I had been right on the cusp in my 40s, going back and forth between, well, I am 45, and maybe this is just the new normal, and maybe I'm just not going to be a size whatever anymore, and I need to accept it. And
Right.
all of that. And because there's so many voices out there, even in our community of women who are pro-aging,
Yeah.
part of the message that of the pro-aging community that I have trouble
Just
with is when
accept.
they say you just need to accept it and
Accept it.
love yourself the way you are. I mean, that's like saying, I have cancer and I'm going to accept it and love myself the way I am. I mean, why would you not try to
Fight.
take care of yourself
Right. And fight.
until you can't possibly anymore? So that's a lot of the the pro-aging community pushes this narrative, and I want to say, but wouldn't you love yourself even more if you just felt amazing and you had
Right.
more energy and you loved what you saw when you looked in the mirror, not because you were telling yourself to do it, but because it was really the best version of yourself, and
Yeah.
the best you could be. So that's my version of pro-aging. And I really wasn't there. I was right on the cusp of going into I'm just going to love myself the way I am. And I'm going to accept myself 15 pounds heavier. And,
I was there too.
and
I was
lying
there.
on the sofa all day, watching the news and just
And just
kind of
like
coasting.
this is my lot in life now, I was there in my early 40s. I had put on 10 or 15 pounds more than and my awakening was going to the doctor, and you have your annual visit at the gynecologist, and I had put on 5 pounds from the last time she saw me. And they were like, "Oh yeah, this is normal. I'm like 5 pounds a year." And I started doing, I'm
Right.
no great mathematician, but
Yeah.
I'm like, 5 pounds a year in a decade, that's 50 damn pounds.
Well,
That's
and
like,
is it normal? Yeah,
is that
it's
normal?
normal, but does it have to be? It's just like,
Like, this
it's
is not normal.
normal for your eyesight to go as you age, right? But it doesn't mean we don't wear glasses
And we don't
or
try to fix it.
contacts.
Oh,
It doesn't
take
mean
that
we
surgery.
walk around,
Do something.
I mean,
We
there are
do
a lot of things
something.
that are normal, but it doesn't mean you don't do anything
But
about
you just
it.
have to accept it. Right. And
Right,
I did
right.
not accept that. I'm like, oh,
Exactly.
hell no. This
No,
is coming off. And
exactly.
the other 10 pounds is coming off too. Because no, there's no
Exactly.
way this is my normal. This
And
is not going to be my normal.
it's not as easy as it was when we were 23 for sure. But yeah, and it's not just about looking in the mirror. It gives
It's about
you
how
more
you
energy
feel.
when you are physically fit, and really taking care of your body inside and out. You just feel better. It changes your attitude. It changes your relationships. It helps everything.
Helps everywhere.
Yeah, it
And you
really
want to go
does.
out and do stuff with your life.
And
And not,
we haven't touched on, I don't know if you do HRT, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, but
I have not.
I started that in, let's see, I guess my late 40s. I hadn't had I had one hot flash. And I said, "Oh hell no." But mine, I don't know if this is normal, but this one hot flash was in the middle of the night.
That took me out. That's like,
I
no,
almost
no, thank you.
passed out. I mean, my husband had to put me in the shower, like, and run cold water. I thought I was going to throw up or faint or something. I was like, this can't be a hot flash, can it? But I didn't get sick. I mean, there was no other explanation. And I was like, no. And a friend of mine years earlier had said how this particular doctor who specializes in aging, right? It's not a gynecologist, not a OB, but has specialties in aging. And I said, you know what? Where was that? Where was that number? And I never really had any menopause symptoms because I started kind of very early in perimenopause. And, he checks my blood every 6 months and keeps everything in balance. And not just in balance. His philosophy is, in the old days, I guess there needs to be more education on this as well. In the old days, right, people just took estrogen. And then they found out that people had too much estrogen and it was causing other health problems. And this is not that. This is balancing all of the hormones based on what your body is producing. And my doctor's philosophy is, again, here's the normal, the normal range for a particular hormone for your age. Well, we don't want you there. We want you to feel like you're 35. We want you in the range that makes you feel great and younger. So he balances everything accordingly. And it works. That's all I can do.
I need that doctor number.
It works. And you know what? My husband is a lawyer, and lawyers are, if you know one, they tend to be anti-doctor. Anti-doctor. They think they know more than doctors. And so he avoids doctors. But he was so impressed with what he saw from me that he said, well, maybe I need to go see this doctor. And he did, and my husband swears by him. He checks my husband's blood, and and it's not just hormones either. It's all of the things that keep us rocking on all cylinders. So so my husband
more like a functional doctor, functional medicine.
Yeah. So he's anti-aging, and there are special certifications in that, and I highly recommend everybody find one near them because it can really be life transforming and prolonging.
That is awesome. Yeah, I remember talking to my gynecologist about bioidenticals, and they're like, "Oh, you don't need that." But again, traditional medicine, they don't really look into
the new technology
or it has to be so well proven before it trickles down to everyday practice.
Right.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to get real with you. So I almost my whole life have had zero sex drive. And I would regularly go to my OB, who I loved, and said, isn't there anything we can do about this? And he'd be like, no, therapy, and I'd be like, that sucks. Men can take a pill, that's just not cool. And then when I met this doctor and found out there were certain hormones I was producing none of. No
testosterone, no progestin.
Yes. And so I thought, what if, 20 years ago, I had this blood work and found out, oh, gee, I didn't have a gram of testosterone in my body, I mean, it would have been life-changing, and relationship, it would have helped my relationship with my husband a whole lot. But the good news is now that my sex drive is off the charts. And that's another thing. We never dreamed. He's 10 years older. He's 65 or 66. I'll be 56 in a week. And we're having our best sex life.
56 ever had. That's awesome.
So we're not dead yet.
I'm just going to say, Yet we're not dead.
No.
Not dead
You
yet.
can,
Living
you know
life.
what? We can still learn and grow, and there's help for a lot of things that we didn't know about.
Living la vida loca.
Uh-huh.
That's what that's called.
That
Listen,
is.
I think, like 20 years ago, our parents kind of just shut down. It was like, okay, we're at this age, things need to start shutting down, and we just need to like survive the rest of our lives out.
Right.
20, 30 years ago.
Downsize, slow it down,
retire, go on the golf course or whatever it is. And now we're seeing that no, the same life and dreams and vitality that we had in our teens and 20s, that doesn't leave us as we age. It does not leave us. And that's why there's so many people in their 80s and 90s that have so many regrets, because they never took the chance to do the thing that they wanted to do their whole life. And so this whole "yet we're not dead," what it says to me is, listen, it's never too late. You had hopes and dreams in your 20s, but it's not too late to pick them up and keep going. Unless there are physical limitations, and you address some of the physical limitations with hormone therapy and things like that we can overcome those things. But I mean, like, if your knees are shot.
Yes, we can't overcome everything, obviously. Right. But we don't have to give in.
Your heart, the passion that you have for life is still there. So find a way to make it work.
Or it can be, right? It can be. You can find it. And right, it's all about, if we're going to be here for another 40 years, shouldn't we have the best quality of life that we can? Which
and I think this generation
includes
is thinking about that.
Continuing to grow and learn and experience new things and achieve new goals, I think. So here's how We're Not Dead Yet started.
Yeah.
I was not sitting around eating bonbons, but I was, still taking care of the family, still, 3 children, husband, still running the family empire. But it was, kids were going off to college. It was winding down a little bit. And I started looking around and seeing women my age, in their 50s, even later, who were discovering new talents, starting new careers, dreaming new dreams. And I thought, I wonder if there's something else I have that I could do. And what would that be? So then this bizarre idea came to me. I said, what if there was a YouTube channel where women like this were interviewed, real women, not celebrities, but real women who are reinventing themselves in the next chapter, so that women like me could be inspired and go, oh, wait, why not me? Maybe there's something else that I would like to do or achieve. And We're Not Dead Yet was born. So I interview women who are reinventing themselves. My first guest ever was a woman who was in the depths of depression after divorce, could barely get herself out of bed. And one day God spoke to her and God said, you need to go to Michael's. So she went to Michael's, got a paint set. She'd never been an artist, never held a paintbrush, went home and basically never stopped painting. And within 3 months was a commissioned artist. So needless to say, she got over the whole divorce thing. And now she's got an incredible art career. Got an incredible art career. So just, and it's everyday stuff. And they're not anything that any of us couldn't do. Another friend of mine was a teacher, and when COVID happened, she said, I'm not down with this. And because her husband, his career had grown, she didn't have to keep doing it. And she said, I'm just going to take care of our youngest until she goes off and not do anything. Well, she was originally from Spain. She was actually my kid's Spanish teacher. And she she loved to cook. She wandered into an olive oil shop, saw they had this fantastic kitchen, and she said, "What do you do here?" And they said, "Well, we teach cooking." And she said, "Really?" And she said, "I love to cook. I've been cooking paella since I could walk." And they said, "Would you like to teach?" And so she ended up taking her lifelong passion for cooking Spanish food and her talent for teaching and doing something that she really loves. So it's just stories like that, everyday stories.
And what's the YouTube channel?
It's YouTube. We're Not Dead Yet.
We're Not Dead Yet.
Women rocking their next chapter.
So remember, I said on Instagram that I'm going to take Latin dance and ballroom dancing.
Oh yes, you did say that. I interviewed a ballroom dancer most recently. Yes.
Yes, you interviewed.
She started in her early 50s or probably right around 50, maybe, ballroom dancing. And she does 6 competitions a year, and she's 61 now. So yeah.
I'm going to be doing some dancing because I love dancing. I've always wanted to take it, and I'm going to go do it. I'm doing it. And I entered my very first pageant at 50. I had never entered a pageant before in my life. I entered my very first pageant at 50, and I won. And I wasn't bitten by the pageant bug. I'm not out there, pageanting, but I did that, and I'm like, hey, now, you know what? I'm not dead yet.
Because why not?
Why not? Let's keep going.
I had a new thought the other day. If those of us who were in our late teens, 20s, in the 80s, I don't know about you, but there was some pink hair in my life. There was a lot of dancing at 4 a.m. in my life, and I got to thinking, who ever thought that group that was around in the 80s living their best life would go quietly into their senior years? It just makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense that we would be, and the 70s, from the 70s, I think that generation where they were like, Studio 54, we're gonna. So I think, it's just getting progressively better.
I think there was no chance we were all going to just, retire,
disappear into the
no,
disappear into the great unknown. No,
right. No.
I thoroughly love this interview. I definitely want to have you back, and I want to talk a little bit more about your show and all the great things that you're doing. I am going to take ballroom dancing as soon as
I'm going to follow your progress.
Yes, I am going to do that. I think I have my schedule thinking in the summer. I'm going to sign up for classes and start during the summer, and we'll see where that takes me.
I can't wait to see what your favorite is.
I know. I love the Latin dances. I love the Paso Doble and the Samba. And so we'll see.
Okay.
I expect on my face.
Full-on competition.
Or if I end up in competition, that could be my next career as a ballroom dancer.
It could.
We never know. We never know. The woman
I interviewed said a woman that she would compete against regularly was, what'd she say, 90 something when she died, and she was still competing up to the day she had a lesson the day she died, and she stopped the lesson early and said, I just don't feel well. I don't feel quite right. She went home and died happy.
Happy way to go, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Up until the last breath.
right?
active. So yeah. So this summer, I've promised myself this year, because I said I was going to do it last year and I didn't. And I said, you know what, 2022 is not going to go by without me taking these classes.
I'm
So
gonna nag you. I'm gonna stay on
good.
you. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
your
you're my
accountability.
accountability now. And everybody who's watching this,
Yes,
they're gonna
yes,
start asking me, when are we going to see videos of you
yes.
dancing?
We're gonna need to see videos.
We'll see videos of me flat on my face. I don't care anymore. You know what? Over 50, I fall. I don't care, as long as I don't break nothing, and I don't intend to break
Right,
anything.
right.
So I will go forth. I took my first ski lesson this year. I went
Snow
skiing for the
skiing.
very first time. Yep.
Did you love it?
I did not love it.
You did. I love skiing. I love skiing.
The boots hurt so bad. They
They
hurt
do hurt. But
so
I
bad.
finally, when I got to be much older, I got some custom fit boots.
Yeah,
Finally
that's
sprung
what I
for
was
it.
told you have to do. Get
It
the
makes
custom.
a huge difference. Yeah.
The rentals were horrendous.
They,
So maybe I would have enjoyed it if I wasn't in so much pain.
yeah. No,
I
I
would
get
have. I did love being up on the mountain. I don't like being cold, but I love being up there.
it.
It would have been a lot more fun if I wasn't in pain. So I think, yeah, having boots that didn't hurt so bad,
Yes.
I could do it.
That's a
I think
killer.
if I go again, I'll try snowboarding. I was advised not to over 50 to snowboard, but I think I can. I think I
I
can do
think
it.
you can. My daughter is a big snowboarder too.
Yeah,
My son too. Two of mine, they grew up skiing, and then when snowboarding became the thing, they were like, "Oh, we're too cool for skis." So,
yeah. I think I'll try the snowboarding next time. The boots are less painful. My
yes,
son
they
said, "Oh
are.
yeah, they didn't hurt."
No,
So I'm
the
gonna
boots
try
are
that.
very comfortable, like snow boots.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that one next time. And I
Yeah.
was kind of bummed that I didn't try it that time around, but I was told to ski. So you see, I did what I was told and it didn't work out. I just need to do what I know I need to do. That's the
Exactly.
moral of that story.
Exactly.
All right.
Especially if the reason given is that you're too old. That
Yeah,
no.
you're saying, snowboarding, because you fall a lot in snowboarding, it's less, you fall less with skis, but I'm not afraid to fall.
No, and you're falling into snow. It's not that bad. I mean, honestly, I think the falling in snowboarding, at least it looks much less painful than when you do fall in skis.
Well, we'll see. I'm the dancing is happening. It is
All right.
happening.
I'm
All
ready
right.
to do it.
Thank you so much for being a
Thank
guest.
you, Alicia, for having me. I enjoyed it so much.
You're very welcome. So to connect with Neeahtima, I know I put up your Instagram a minute ago, but I'm just going to put it up again. Please check her out on Instagram at Yet We're Not Dead. So check that out, and
my YouTube channel, which is We're Not Dead Yet. Women rocking their next chapter.
Women rocking their next chapter. So go check her out on YouTube and on Instagram, and I will see you around the gram. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
See you soon.
Bye. So that was another episode of Love My Body, Love Myself. I just want to shout out our sponsors one more time before we close the show, and then I'll come back and close off the show.
FAMU's Mary. Educate, learn, talk.
The Love My Body, Love Myself show is sponsored by Alicia Couri, Inc. and produced by Red Carpet CEO. Alicia Couri, Inc. specializes in developing audaciously proactive leaders and teams using brain science and people data to get results. Visit our website, aliciacouri.com, for more information. The show is produced by Red Carpet CEO. If you'd like a copy of Age with Audacious Confidence, visit our link tree at linktr.ee/acouri. So this was really a fabulous show. We shared a lot about bioidentical hormones, how as you start aging, they can really transform your life the quality of your life. So if you're in your early 40s or late 30s, start checking it out. Start finding a doctor who specializes in aging and hormone therapy, so that as you start moving into those perimenopausal years, you can take care and balance out your hormones. Also, we shared about anxiety and depression. And for Neeahtima, it was more chemical imbalance that needed to be resolved through medication. And so if you are struggling with mental health issues, please see a doctor. Please find some resources, find some help, as well as seek out therapy for that. We also shared, some passions as we age that we can get into. Her show, We're Not Dead Yet, is on YouTube, so check that out. And it's all about, finding your passion as you age, and she interviews women who have found a whole second life in their 40s and 50s and beyond. So check that out as well. And that was this episode of Love My Body, Love Myself. Thank you so much for joining. And yes, this was pre-recorded, this episode. So we are here, though, to monitor the comments and check you out. So thank you so much for joining us. And I will see you next time on another episode of Love My Body, Love Myself. And I want to encourage you this week to do something for yourself that proves to yourself that you love your body and that you love yourself. I will see you next time. Mwah.